here we'll be going over primitive data types. Primitive data types or primitive values are data that is not an object and has no methods attributed to it. We've already used two primitive data types, which include the string and also the number primitive data type. Now, while string doesn't have methods associated with it as a primitive, it is encased in a class of string, which we can use to call some methods on any given string. So with our variable called string set to this value, we can type string and we can call length in order to determine just how long this string is. So I'll console log that out. Refresh that, and there should be 16 characters within our string. We will call our variable again by typing string, and we'll set a new value, but this time we will append additional characters to this string by typing string, which will basically use this value. We'll type a plus sign, and then within quotes I'll type a full stop, a space, and type this is added. I'll delete the dot length, so we're accessing what's in our variable. Save this, refresh, and the string has now been appended and has added, this is added to what was previously defined. We can also append values via backticks. I'll create a new variable. I'll call this string2, and I'll type 2 backticks. Backticks should be located directly under your escape key. I'm just going to write some random text. And from here, as we've laid down some backticks, we can type the $sign and then a pair of curly braces, and we can access whatever data we have within our original variable. I'll just format that so it's a bit better. We have to console log string2, and we have appended the original value to our newly created variable. With numbers, in JavaScript, all numbers are defined as numbers rather than other programming languages that might have integers or floating point numbers or complex numbers. So we are able to define a variable and type whatever number we want. It might be 1, or it might be 1.5, or it might be -1.5. These are all fine. create a new variable. And I'll add our previous variable to a new number and log whatever it returns. We can also define Boolean values, which are either true or false. True is another predefined keyword, as is false. For our final two primitive data types, we have firstly undefined, which if we don't assign a value to a variable, we will receive. Of course, this needs to be let rather than const. We can also specify that it is undefined, which doesn't make much sense, but as you can see, undefined is a predefined keyword. And finally, we have null. The value of null represents the intentional absence of any object value and is treated as falsy for Boolean operators. So we can specify within the variable that it is null. In regards to undefined and null, there's not much that can really be said about them until we get into loops and arrays and concepts such as that. But for now, just know that we have 5 primitive data types, which are string, number, Boolean, undefined, and null. And as we delve deeper into the JavaScript language, we'll be using all of these. So as long as you know that they exist, you can build upon your knowledge of them.